So this is the first tutorial video I will be doing on a Singer sewing machine. The model number of this sewing machine is 5817C. I will be sharing with you the year when this machine was made. It is a simple sewing machine. As you can see, it has the basic stitches, zigzag stitches, and a few buttonhole stitches and hem stitch. And this is another type of hem stitch as well. It has the reverse, it has the tension gauge, positioning gauge. Everything on the machine actually works. I got this machine online. It was missing parts, apparently. It did not have the thread stopper, which I actually had that piece. It did not have the foot pedal, which I had to purchase. And this is the part here, which had the three prongs, which goes into the side of the machine. There is a light, there is a button, on the side, which allows you to turn it on and off. I'm just going to plug it in for us, and I'm going to show you what it sounds like. A lot of these machines, people get them, use them, they forget to oil them. They forget to, sorry about my shoulder, I just want to make sure it's in there. They forget to oil them, they forget to do the basic cleaning of these machines. So sometimes the machines don't sound like they're running very well, when in fact, they're built well. So I've now plugged in the machine. And I'm going to turn it on. As you can see, the light's there. Get some fabric. Twist my machine a little bit towards so you can see it. So this part of the video is to share with you what it sounds like. As you can hear, it's got a squeaking noise. And I'll do a tutorial on the upper close shot of the sewing machine, threading of the zigzag and a straight stitch afterwards. Sorry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to position the camera so you can show you on top what it looks like, and then what I'm going to be doing to take the top off, show you the top. So this is the top of the machine. Sorry about the moving hands. There's 3 screws that I'm going to be taking off because I want to hear what is causing it to squeak. And with that also, sorry about my hand in the way, we'll give it a little bit of oil. And this just pops right off. Just remember, all the screws must be loose. Yeah, sorry about that. And this is what it sounds like on top. So again, I'm going to start moving the machine. Something is squeaking. Well, now it's not squeaking as much. It has to do with it has to do with something here. I'm not sure if it's in here or not, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my just checking that part there. I'm going to get a little bit of oil and see if that helps get rid of the squeakiness, because it looks like it's something in this area here. So I took off this piece that was sitting here, and these are the 2 screws that held it on, just so I can see exactly what's going on with the squeaking part. This is a great spot if you had to change the belt. It's the power button. As you can see, it's really dusty and dirty, and I'm going to clean that up. Sorry, the camera's not very clear. But I'm going to plug the power cord in, and I'm going to listen to it and see what it does. So when I was doing a test, it sounds like the squeak is coming from this gear, which is attached to the motor. Now, again, I'm not trained on how to handle motors, so I'm going to leave it, and I will be posting it to let people know exactly where the squeak is coming from. But overall, the machine looks like it's working really, really good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this area up a little bit better, just to get rid of the dust and stuff, because I don't like that stuff there. And then I'm going to be putting this back on, and I'll be right back. So now that I put the piece on the back, what I'm going to do is going to put the top on. Put that back in place. When I take the tops off, I like to leave the screws so I know exactly where they came from. And then I'll screw those back in because they're in the right spot. Make sure that you do tighten the screw last. Like get the 3 kind of in place and then tighten them a little bit, but don't tighten them where they actually break the threads. Just give it a nice quick turn to kind of make sure they're in, like that. Okay. I misplaced a piece. Sorry about the camera. So we're going to put the thread on. The thread stopper. And then I'm going to thread the machine. So bear with me because I am doing this with one hand. So the thread hooks under here. Sorry again. Comes on top. Sorry. Down around. Always make sure your piece is up, comes down, around. Now, one thing I do know is that if the foot pedal's down, it's tension that you actually need. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to thread this machine for those who may are not familiar with it. The bobbin stopper. Thread comes down here, over here. Oh, sorry, camera. Comes down, making sure we're on number 3, comes up, around, down, sorry, the other way around, under here. And then to thread it. Sorry about the camera. Gonna do this with the right hand. Just make sure your ends are cut smooth, and then the needle from the front to the back. Eyes are getting bad. Sorry, it's taking a while. Takes me a few minutes to do it, but you know what I mean. So what I like to do with threads like this is I like to cut it on an angle. So the top, where are you, thread? It's not cut straight, it's cut on a slight angle. So when you go to thread it into the machine needle, it goes a lot easier. Sorry, the video is a little crooked. Again, I'm trying to do this with one hand. And that's how you thread this machine. Before I go to sew, there's certain things that I like to focus on. I like to make sure this is at the standard number 3. I like to make sure this is in the middle. I make sure this is on the straight stitch. This is on a number 3. Now, some of the older machines prefer to be on a gauge number 4. It just adds a wider stitch. That's all it does. Whereas the 0, 1, and 2 are more of a finer stitch. For standard stitch, always a number 3. Now, sometimes when you're trying to do very delicate, fine details on a garment that you want to last, that's where you may put it in between the middle or 2 so that it doesn't break. You'd have to check the needle type, the fabric type, to understand which is best, because there is such a variety of needles for different purposes and a lot of different threads for different garments. So now I'm going to show you how the bobbin goes in. It was already in, but what I did is I actually took this off, and there was a little bit of dust and dirt underneath the dog feet. It is very important that you clean that out, and also clean this area out as well. Once you take the dog feet out, this part lifts up, it slides out, and then you can clean in the back, because fabric and dust will build up in and around the back there. This is also allows you to take this out as well, which is the bobbin holder. It just slides out. And you want to clean any particles or any dirt, dust build up. And then she just sits back in there. And then with this gauge again, oops, sorry about my thumb. I'm just going to use a screwdriver. Sorry about the focus. There we go. I'm just going to take the screwdriver and I'm just going to twist her back. Oh, she's not sitting right. There you go. I'm just going to switch it back, and it must lock in place where it's sitting over the bobbin case. Sorry, the focus is not great. Sorry about this, guys, as this is my first video. So now that the bobbin's in there, you want to get your bobbin, and each machine is very specific to their bobbins, so you can't just try any bobbin. It must be the right size. On the instruction manual, I believe it would show you the size. Now all bobbins must go in a certain way again, and as you can see, I don't have a lot of thread, but it's there. This one here is going in the right direction. So it's always counterclockwise, and it just pops in. There is a piece here that it has to hook under and then slides and sits between here. So again, sorry guys, I'm going to do this with one hand. As you can see, now that that's there, I'm going to put my feed dog plate cover back. Oops, sorry again about the video. So this machine I got, again, as I shared with you at the beginning of the video, it was missing some parts. It didn't have needles. It didn't have a bobbin. It had the bobbin case, and it didn't have the thread stopper. And that's a key component for this type of machine, because some of the thread holders are standing up in the vertical position. This was on a horizontal position. So there's nothing to hook it around where you could have dropped it onto the table, in a cup. It doesn't have that option. So I'm really glad that I had this as a spare to be able to give it to this new machine. Somebody will be picking this one up. I'm not selling it for the value of this machine, being that it is a solid machine. I'm selling this just for the parts that I got it for, and hope that somebody who gets it is going to really enjoy it for the basic stitches. It is a great starter machine. It is a great machine that they can continue to use until they want to upgrade to something a lot more fancier and with a lot more fancier stitches. So thank you very much again for watching my video. I appreciate this, and I hope that you'll check out my other videos, which I'll be posting. You have a blessed day. So now that I did a video on how to thread it, I will do a video on how to wind the thread on the bobbin for this particular machine. So I'm going to cut this off here. As this is already threaded, I'm going to take this particular, just do it with the other hand, sorry. Hook it around here, which is the tension. Again, sorry, I'm trying to do this with one hand. And bring it all the way over here. Now, I have to cut that thread off. Get my bobbin out. As you can see, there's hardly any thread on there, so we do need to add thread. It's important that you take off the excess thread that's not needed. Where did you go? There you are. Now, what's interesting is, for years I didn't realize this, but this little hole is in order for you to put the thread through. So when you put it on your sewing machine to wind it, it holds the thread. So I'm just going to, again, try to do this by hand. Okay, it's not doing it that way, so I'll try and do it this way. Okay, it's not working. So I had to do this by hand, not by hand, with two hands, because I couldn't do it with one hand. Sorry I couldn't show you how easy it was, but it is literally just threading through the hole. Once that's done, we place this on top, slide this over on the side here, because if you try to sew, this will start to move. We don't want it to move. On the side here, there's a button. You just pop her in, and what that does is it stops this part of the sewing machine from running. So now that I've got the top here and the thread in there, I'm just going to, sorry about the camera, pulled that a little bit for tension. And as you can hear, the squeaking seems to have been gone. I like to cut the thread a little loose. I don't like these guys. Oh. Sorry. And just let her go. And what's happening is this is holding the tension, which is excellent. Sometimes this does not hold a very good tension, so some sewers like to hold the thread here. But in this case, I'm fine, because as you see, it's moving it on its own, up and down. And if you've ever had issues with your thread where it's a little loose, this is what you're looking to see. Is this dirty? Is this clean? Is it holding the tension properly? Because then it's not threading the bobbin properly. And therefore the threads are going to be loose. But in this case, it looks like it's done really well. So once that's done, we turn this on, pull this over, lift this up, and that's it. So that took me a while, so I took off video just because I needed two hands. Always put your thread to the back. Always, always. So now I'm going to, and there should be tension on the thread, but again, I'm doing this by hand, and that should pull up the thread to the top, as you can see. Then you can close. Always leave your thread behind when you go to sew. And now I'm going to show you how she sews. Thread got caught. Sorry, guys. What I also like to do is check the thread on the bottom. Now, always leave this part up. And then once you pull the thread back, you want to check the tension on the back. And that tells you how well the machine sews.